Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time, as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. Today I want to look at some more Switch 2 news, some recent stuff that has dropped. I wasn't planning on talking about the Switch 2 anytime soon, but I talked about it a week ago, and I wanted to give you the updates on the reports that I've read, because they line up with a lot of things I talked about last week, and I wanted to give my thoughts on what I read here. So first and foremost, the Switch 2 will be more iterative than innovative, which I think is totally fine. I mentioned this in my video last week. I think they don't need to do a whole lot in terms of innovation. They just need to beef up the console and make it slightly better in the problem areas, specifically with the Joy-Cons. I had a problem with the track system. I don't like that sometimes the controllers, while in handheld mode, will slide up just a little bit and the console will think you're pulling them out and it'll interrupt your gameplay. I think that's super, super annoying. But apparently the Switch 2 is going to have some improvements that circumvent these issues and hopefully get rid of them entirely. So first and foremost, let's talk about what the Switch 2 is going to look like. We're going to have a slightly bigger Switch 2 with an 8-inch screen instead of a 7-inch screen. This would also make the Joy-Cons presumably a little bit bigger, but they didn't say anything in the report in terms of how big the Joy-Cons will be. Apparently they'll still be using Joy-Cons, so hopefully they'll be improved in slight ways, but also the screen resolution will also be 1080p instead of the 720 that they have on the original Switch. I think this is great. Upgrading the definition just a little bit to account for the larger screen is awesome. I don't think we need 2K or 4K graphics on a handheld console here because it's so pared down, so compressed. We don't need crazy visuals to get the same kind of effect. Apparently the Switch dock though will support 4K resolution, which is a great thing and kind of hints at the console having beefier specs. And we expect it to. The Switch 1 is outdated hardware as it is, so they should be beefing it up substantially. But 4K resolution reported for the dock is really, really encouraging. The biggest thing that I think that they're going to have for their new gimmick is the Joy-Cons and how they attach. They don't have the track system anymore. They're apparently going to be magnetically attached on either side of the Switch 2, which is pretty cool. Apparently they're going to be utilizing like electromagnetic current flow to keep them attached while you're in handheld mode. Not exactly sure how that works. They didn't elaborate on it a whole lot, but apparently that will keep them attached and have a better experience while you're in handheld mode. One of the nice things that they talked about as well that they're going to support is old hardware. You can actually pair your old Switch controllers wirelessly to the Switch 2, which is fantastic. Clearly, since they don't have the new track system, you won't be able to slide them on and connect them that way, but you can pair them wirelessly, which is great because if you have a bunch of old Switch hardware, you don't want to upgrade to a bunch of new stuff at the same time if you can just utilize your old stuff, especially if you have a big collection of Joy-Cons and you want to utilize like 8-player gaming with your friends and parties and stuff. This is super nice to not have to get a ton of new Joy-Cons and Switch Pro controllers and stuff like that. You can just use all your old stuff. I think that's a fantastic thing. When I bought my PlayStation 5, it was really nice to be able to pair my PlayStation 4 controllers and play my multiplayer games with my friends. I assume the Xbox Series X does the exact same thing. Being able to be compatible with old hardware is such a huge win. Speaking of being compatible with old hardware, it'll also support old Switch games, which is fantastic, something that we all expected. It will have a cartridge slot that supports both Switch and Switch 2 games, but the Switch 2 cartridges won't work on the Switch 1. I'm assuming this will be similar to the 3DS and DS, where you have the little notch on the 3DS cartridges, so you can't put those in the original DS. I'm guessing it'll be something similar to that. I would think a little notch on the side of the Switch 2 cartridges would be awesome, and I would love to see that. But apparently we're going to be pretty much exclusively backwards compatible here, which is a great sign for people that would likely like to upgrade to the Switch 2 and get rid of their old Switch if they want to. I like this decision. I think it's a really slam dunk decision, and I think that if they're going to get rid of the issues that you have with the old Joy-Cons while still being able to utilize this old hardware, having backwards compatibility, and beefier visuals, this all lines up with what I've heard so far and is a really great thing for me. I'm really excited about it. I would expect Nintendo to have some more ideas for a new gimmick. Maybe they'll utilize the touchscreen more. Maybe it'll be something software related. I don't think that they would only have the electromagnetic Joy-Cons as their main gimmick for the Switch 2. So I'm excited to see what else we get in the coming months, and we have about approximately a year before the Switch 2 is projected to launch spring of next year. So we're in that year phase. Hopefully we'll get some new news soon. Some official announcement from Nintendo would be fantastic. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.